closer on that line, but we hit the clip fine. There, good there. Let's switch. Fine on that clip. Nice and deep the whole way around. Sweet. Yo, what's up YouTube? My name's Crispy. I've got no idea what the hell I'm doing. I do drifting stuff, sim stuff. I'm going to be teaching you guys today on how to tune VDC cars. We're going to start off by doing one car per video. So this video we're going to be focusing on the E92 Eurofighter. Now I've uploaded videos like this in the past where they've been raw, unedited, and I kind of like that style. It's easier on me and you guys kind of get to see the whole thing from start to finish. And essentially the idea is behind this is that I want to create a real transparent way in showing you guys the tips and tricks that I use and I put into my VDC cars to be able to get those real close tandems. You see a lot of that on my Twitch. If you don't know, I stream on Twitch, SoCRiiSPY. Go follow me there if you haven't. I also have a TikTok that we post content on. Everyone's been loving that too. So without further ado, let's get started in the E92 Eurofighter, episode 1. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so as you can see, my cameras are going to be blocking some of the screen space, but I will be explaining everything that I adjust and what I actually press. So as you can see, running through the tune quickly, this is completely untuned stock Eurofighter out of the box. I don't know what to expect. I will never drive this car, so let's give it a crack and see how we go. Let's give it a crack and see how we go. All right, I like to drive roof cam as well. It's a lot easier, especially for me. Some people don't like that. Each to their own. Okay, let's give it a crack, shall we? Okay, so I noticed straight off the rip that the gearing definitely needs to come down because I'm in 5th gear and it's blazing. Okay, and side bite, doesn't have much side bite. How's the left foot brake? Alright. Alright, so I noticed straight away off the rip, this car needs gearing changed, especially for this track. Now, every track is different with gearing. So, at the moment, I see my 4th gear goes to 214 kilometers an hour. I want to drop it till 4th gear gets to about 250, round about there. I like having longer gears, so let's give that a shot. So all we've done is just adjust the gearing, and let's see if this makes a difference. It may make a difference in regards to how aggressive we drive, because the car's going to be bogging out a little bit more. Better. This car's quite good out of the box, man. Okay, I can tell the rear end, the alignment needs a little bit of work. It's not snapping how I usually want it to snap. So let's go back to pits. And let's have a look. Let's have a run through some of these settings. Fuel's fine, tires are fine. I'm gonna leave them on 28 and 22 PSI. Turbo 100% is fine. Okay, rear alignment here. Let's adjust. So as you can see when you're adjusting the tune on your car, you want to be looking at the car status on the right hand side, not these alignment settings on here. You want to be looking at these ones on the right hand side. These are actually this is at real time what's actually happening to your vehicle. So I can see that my cambers are 0.32 and 0.15. It's because the pit box that we're on is actually slightly off center, which is fine. We're gonna leave that for now, but the toe is plus 11. I'm gonna crank that up till it gets to, I'm gonna turn that up till it gets to about plus 20. Let's double it. So we went from 35 to 65. Let's just crank that up, 65, cool. So we've just adjusted that, that's fine. And let's leave it at that and see what happens there. The reason why I'm adjusting the rear toe on the toe on the rear is because I feel like that the car, it needs to snap a little bit more. I know that the coast has got something to do. I know the coasting has something to do with the diff. The diff is fully locked. So the next step that I'm going to take is removing the amount of coast in the diff. Let's see how this feels and see if we get a good result. Okay, my brake bias needs to come up because I don't like it when it's too level. Okay, cool. So I noticed almost instantly on that transition between the third outer zone and the wall, the car would snap the way that I wanted it to. As you can see, it snapped harder, but it didn't, it still coasted too far. So there's two settings I'm gonna change here. I'm gonna go to brakes, and I'm gonna adjust my brake bias from 64 up to 72, and my brake power is fine. I can also notice that the ARB doesn't have any front sway bars, but it has a rear sway bar. So before we touch that, I'm definitely gonna go to diff coast, and I'm gonna drop the diff coast down to 60% and the diff power to 80%. And we'll work up or down from there. We're also gonna adjust 5 Newton meters of preload into the diff and see how that goes. Okay, so I noticed that straight away the car would snap, but it wouldn't grip. So let's see if this makes a difference. So when you adjust your diff coast, if you increase the diff power, it means that the wheels will lock under load, right? But with the coast, if you leave it on 100%, when you come off throttle, the rear wheels will continue to be locked, right? So if you reduce that number, it'll allow them to spin independently slightly, which will want the car to straighten up a bit more. So when it comes to applying throttle and then lifting, you can actually control the angle of the car with your throttle, if it's tuned correctly. So let's give it a shot. Straight away, the brake bias helped there. I don't have to flick as hard anymore. Let's just be a little careful here. Okay, cool, awesome. That was great. Let's give it one more run. Let's give it one more run. So what I'm doing now is we'll just give it an extra run just to confirm that what I did made a difference. Kind of got over the line there, lost a bit of speed. Let's try and gain it back up again. Back down a gear. Okay. That was me. That was my driving that kind of cooked that bit. But whilst we're here, I just want to check the sway bar to see if it needs it or not. So what I'm doing is I'm jerking the wheel to one side and then throwing it back. And as you can see, the car will move. But it's fine to have a little bit of movement, right? You don't want it to be like extremely point and shoot. I like it when it has a little bit of slop in it. But this seems about right. Usually some cars, they bobble and they wobble. And that's when you need to add some more, you need to add the front sway bar in. But this car actually doesn't need a front sway bar. I'm actually so surprised how well the tunes are on these cars. The VDC 2.0 cars and 1.0 cars needed a lot of tuning work to get them right, especially the 1.0 cars. But the 3.0, they've kind of nailed it. The base tune on these cars is really decent just to get in and drive. We're just kind of min-maxing here. We're not actually trying to gain anything too much, but we're gaining enough where it makes a difference and you can be more consistent. Okay, so my entry was potato then, but that's fine. Let's let off the left foot brake there. Back on a little bit, back off, a little smidge. Okay, so the last little bit just there was great. That last section of the run was sweet. Let's have a look at that. So we flipped the car in, and then I was able to go full ball to the wall. That was good. So I think the issue that I had here at the entry was I just threw too much angle at the start. Whether the previous run it was great. The entry on the previous run was good. Yeah, except we went over a little bit. So we're just trying to aim to get a decent bass tune here. It's not to get the perfect tune because every track is different, right? So all the adjustments I make on this track won't work for certain other tracks, but you want to get a nice even bass line so that when you go on other tracks, all you have to do is adjust your gearing ratio and that's it really for that track. So that's the goal and that's the result here. Okay, so one thing I did notice was that the car acts really well. I might need to increase the diff power up to 90 from 80, and I might bump from 5 preload to 10 preload in the diff. So we're now running 90% diff power, 60% coast, 10% preload. Brakes are fine. Sway bar's actually surprisingly okay. The height of the vehicle is 83 mil all round, which is great. Don't really need to adjust the bump and rebound. The only thing I am going to adjust is the front toe. The front toe is set to 16 on the left and it's negative 18 on the right. So let's actually increase that so that we go more negative. So let's run negative 28. So we're gonna go to 23. Now the only reason why I'm doing that is just for that extra bit of lock, but at the same time, I want the car to roll over on itself. It's got negative 5 degrees of camber, which is about right. You want between negative 4.5 to negative 5.5, roughly give or take, depending on the track. So each track is different. Tracks that have higher banks, big banks, cambered banks, you want more camber. Tracks that are quite flat, that are bumpy, you want less camber to have more front wheel grip, because if it's bumpy, you want to be able to feel it. Things like that. There's little minor adjustments that you can do to a car based on each track. But as I said before, we're not really min-maxing everything crazy. I'm just giving you guys a good bass tune to work off of, so you're able to actually get there in the end. At the end of the video, I'll remove my camera and I'll go through every single tab so you guys can just like look at it. We'll do that. Okay, so fuel's fine, tires are fine, gearing's fine. Okay, let's give it one more run with the new diff and see how she goes. But I'm pretty happy with the way it is. It's pretty good. Handbrake pull in. Okay, it's good. Pull away from that clip, back to third. In the wall. Okay, that was actually a decent run. Let's look at that run back. I'm pretty content with that for a decent baseline run, man. I'm pretty happy with that, chat. What do you guys reckon, chat? YouTube. Let's have a third, fourth. Could have been closer on that line, but we hit the clip fine. Good there. Let's switch. Fine on that clip. Nice and deep the whole way around. Sweet, I'm happy with that. Now my concern on this track was the switch here, between the wall and the other one. Let's just check that out on the chase camera. So come in here, let's actually go slow-mo. And we're deep in the wall there. Deep in the wall. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's go F5. Let's actually run the F5 camera from up top. Let's have a look. So we've come through the clip. Transition out. Nice. Switch in. Nice and deep and bury the throttle. Okay, so that extra bit of diff power and preload allowed the car to be a lot more so it'll pull away from clips, because beforehand what I noticed was I'd flick into the wall, I'd give it power, and the car wouldn't pull away from the wall. It will want to go still in the same trajectory of going into the wall, right? So you want to flick into the wall as if you're going to crash, then hit the gas, and you want the car to power away from the wall and around. So the car wasn't doing that, but increasing the power and a little bit of the preload, it allowed the car to grip and pull. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest, chat. I'm pretty happy with chat. I keep saying chat. Pretty happy with that, to be honest, guys. This car is it's a good bit of fun. It's a good bit of fun. Oh, there's a horn. There's the lights. Yeah, I enjoy driving it. It's good. There's a couple of cars in the VDC pack that are better than this car, but overall, I think this is a really good base tune to run through. So I'm just gonna quickly minimize my cams and show you the tune, so you guys can just save it, and then we should be good to go. And then that is a wrap for the tuning and the base tune of the Eurofighter, from what I can tell. Baikoniki is a great track because it's smooth. Some tracks that are bumpier, you're gonna want to increase your suspension. So when you're in your suspensions, in like dampener, you want to increase everything by like, say, an increment of 2. So you go up by 2 clicks on everything. And if you increase everything by 2 clicks, if it's a really bumpy track and the car's unsettled, 2 clicks on everything should kind of settle you down to the point where you can drive the car quite reasonably well. Okay, let's quickly remove these cameras and shit. Let me just remove this cam, and let's have a little look so you guys can check it out. So we're running, gearing. There's tires. There's fuel. Fuel's based on each track as well. If you increase fuel, you will increase weight on the rear. It'll adjust your alignment, so keep that in mind. Electronics. Turbo, alignment. There's some alignment settings for the Eurofighter. Dampeners, which is your suspensions that I was talking about, increasing the each thing. Drivetrain, so your diff. Generic, which is brakes and brake power. That's adjusting. That's how you adjust it to yourself. I like it higher because I have to apply less left foot brake to pivot the car. And suspensions. I didn't have to put a sway bar in. It was fine because this track isn't as bumpy. But yeah, that's about it. Guys, if you enjoyed it, thanks very much. Leave a comment down below if it helped you. If it didn't help you, well, I'm sorry, but hopefully the next one can help you. We're going to be doing one video per car. So this is the Eurofighter. So up next will be the, I don't know, whatever car is up next that I click on, but we're going to do one for each car. At the moment, we've done the R33 and we've done the E46. So they're already finished, but this is going to be like its own separate series. So go back and watch those. They are Twitch highlights when I go through those. But yeah, as I said before, leave a comment, hit subscribe. I don't know how YouTube works, but thanks. Appreciate it. Take care. Look after yourself. Peace.